Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so excited to be back with you again this week with Pink and Main. So, I am on YouTube and Facebook, wherever it's easiest for you to find us. Um, Let me swap this back over. I see lots of comments coming in already. I saw Dee Deanne, Lori, Annette, Kim, I guess from Florida, Montreal, Winter, Wisconsin. And with that being said, I want to give you fair warning that it is storming like crazy outside here in Delaware, and our lights have flickered a few times. So hopefully it's not a problem, but if all of a sudden everything goes dark, you know why. I see Barbara and Maria and Susan and Shani checking in from Vegas. Hopefully it's at least nice there. Um, so yeah, tonight we are going to be working with the new stamp and die of the month. This is the chicken soup stamp set. Super cute, and you can get that as a subscription, or once the whole release comes out, that third Friday of the month, you can get it on its own. But I'm pretty sure if you get the subscription, you get like a deal price. So I have my dies tucked right in the back per usual. And yeah, I love showing you guys a little sneak peek when I can. So let me grab my blog card for tomorrow because it was kind of my practice round for this stamp set. So this is my first go at this card. I use the pink fairy wings foil, so it looks very bright on camera, but in person it still has that halo or the holographic, but it is like a softer pink in person than it looks like on the camera. So I did the little tissue box and the little pill container, and I added it in with these mugs. I figured maybe tea instead of coffee. And I just did take it easy. And I like this one because it could be a get well card, but it could also be for someone who's maybe having a tough time mental health wise, right? Take your pills, cry it out, drink some tea, and it's going to be okay. So I love this version, but it really just inspired me even more and gave me some more ideas for how we can use it tonight. And I really wanted to play with the actual chicken, right? The chicken soup part. So I also see Melissa checking in. She's up in Nova Scotia where it's all that storm that's hitting me now is gonna hit her tomorrow. And Becky's here. So thank you guys so much. Let me get us switched over. There we go. Also, I want to tell you that I have my vinyl literally right here, and I'm gonna re-vinyl my desk. So all of this like stain and stuff will be gone before Thursday. I meant to do it tonight and I completely forgot. I'm also looking into glass mats, but those are not cheap. So we'll see. In the meantime, I can at least do a fresh vinyl wrap on my desk. I also see Lisa checking in and Susan from Florida. Yep, so far power's still on. It flickered a few times, but came right back on both times. So hopefully we're good. We'll zoom in just a tiny bit. So this is what the whole stamp set looks like. You get the chicken and the soup, crackers, the little pill bottle that has a little RX, tissue box, band-aids, spoon, and then all of these great little sentiments. The one thing I will say is there's not coordinating stamp sets or dies for the sentiments. Not a deal breaker for me, but just keep that in mind because a lot of times Pink and Main has coordinating sentiment dies. So we're going to stamp this onto a die cut, like a larger embellishment. So it's all good. But yeah, I just think this is so cute, especially like the little band-aids. If you have like, some little kids that are always getting into trouble, getting hurt. But yeah, we're gonna go the soup route. We're gonna fully embrace the soup. So we have our chicken in the soup, we have our crackers and spoon, and that is what we're gonna be coloring. But I wanna build up my card base first so I can pick my colors. So I have my A2 side folding card to start with. And I have some brownstone, paper and I grabbed the Cool Basics paper pack. So we're going to see what I have left in here. Yeah, Melissa, those glass mats are a little pricey. They're kind of an investment. That's how I look at it. It's definitely an investment, but it might have to wait till a little later in the year. We'll see. So I have all of these polka dots and these kind of woven stripes, but I was really hoping to use one of the more colorful patterns, depending on what I have here, because what I want to do is take my diamond stitched diamonds out of the brownstone, and that's what's going to be the main center part that our items are going to kind of sit on. So the pattern is going to be more in the background. Sorry. And I thought it would be fun to have like a more colorful, interesting background then. I don't know, maybe the polka dots, because I just don't know about these plaids. They don't feel very me. But the polka dots with like a little graphic and this brown matches so well. I think that could be fun. Let's do that. In my head, I was really hoping I had a piece of this chevron, but it does not look like I do. I probably have scraps up here in this bin somewhere. I just need to show you. This scrap bin is literally overflowing. Look at that. Those are all my scraps from what, probably the last 5 months, 4 months. It's mostly Pink and Main. A little bit of some other brands tucked in there, but I'm gonna have to, oh, I should have just showed it to you this way. I'm gonna have to sort through these things because they're getting a little bit out of control. I'm kind of worried it's gonna topple over on me one day. Hey Irma. Yeah, I love the polka dots, so I think they will be very fun. Okay, so let's start with trimming this down and getting our diamond layer set to go. And I am planning on stamping inside my card, which is a huge shock, sure. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to want this matted, but we won't know until we get there. Right, we could do like a tiny, tiny little mat. See, now I said that, but I don't know. I might want it matted. Let's see if I can cut my diamond out of this smaller one. So that diamond takes up pretty much the whole card. I just want to see how the bowl fits in there. That's a lot of room. Maybe one smaller. And crackers and the spoon and the, that might not be big enough because I still want to put my sentiment in there. I think we're going to have to go with the biggest one, which means we could still do the little mat. That would still be okay. These are sharing a stamp sleeve with my shaper tag guys. This isn't big enough, right? This is already cut. Yeah, this is just like a little smidge too small. It's okay. Yeah, Lori, I saw a lot of stuff on the news with the tornadoes and everything. It's so scary. This weather's getting crazier and crazier. Melissa, it did show up. I'm so sorry, I just didn't mention it here, but I did post it on my Instagram story when I got it. Thank you so much. Melissa sent me the most cute little pop-up box Christmas card. It's still on my shelf in my living room. I haven't taken down Christmas yet, but I'm definitely going to keep it because it's definitely one that's like a good display piece. It can go back up on the shelf every year. So thank you so much. I definitely should have shared it here. I'm sorry. All right, let's trim this polka dot down a little. I do kind of want this mat to be pretty small, so I'm just going to take it to 4 by 5 1/4. Just think that that little bit of brown mat is going to help ground everything really nicely. And this diamond fits on this small piece as long as we cut it at a little bit of an angle. These solid cardstocks. I'm trying to remember to put the scraps back in my big envelope so that I don't get the colors mixed up. Yeah, Melissa, all good. Hey, Becky. Hey, Dawn. I got Christmas cards from Melissa and Virginia this year. I shared those over on my Instagram story. That was very nice. They were my I've gotten Halloween cards from other card makers before, but I think these were my first Christmas cards I've ever gotten from another card maker. Very exciting. So I'm just die cutting that diamond out on my Sizzix Big Shot. Okay, let's get this part assembled. Yes, I need the pig, but that's okay. When you when your glue gets a little clogged at the end, what you should probably do is take a pin, a little straight pin, and stick it so that it unclogs. But what I usually do is just, I have one of these glue holders from Make It by Marco on Etsy that I love. And I just squeeze the glue until a little bit comes out on there. And then I use it. It's definitely not a good use of your extra glue, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Yes, Michelle does sell the pins. I have one. I had one up here somewhere. I have a little magnetic board and it was stuck on there, but I think it got too gross. And I don't even know now where it is. I'll have to order some more. I need to get more foam tape too, so I'll just put in another order. All right, so there's that. I think we're going to do this layer flat, and then speaking of foam tape, we will pop up our diamond. I think that's where I want to add my dimension. I'm a mess. I also need a new paper trimmer because the blade on this one I've changed twice and it still leaves these like jagged edges. The last like 3 paper trimmers I bought, I just don't love. Very frustrating. You know what else could be fun? Is if we did this sideways. 100% that's the answer. We're doing a landscape card. Sentiment problem solved. So where is my phone? Look how little it is. She's so little now. See, I have this Fiskars trimmer, and I've changed this blade 3 times now, and it still does not cut well. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I don't get it. And I have the Fiskars, right? This is Fiskars. I have one of these, and it cuts crooked and then tears anything that's past like the middle of the cutter. I don't get it. It's very frustrating. You know what? I'm gonna wait to pop this up because I had to learn my lesson. I didn't stamp my sentiment before I popped it up with foam on my blog card, and I almost had a disaster. So we will wait and pop that up after we stamp in our sentiment, and I won't know where that's supposed to go until we have our elements ready to go. So let's do some coloring. They have a lifetime warranty. Dawn to the rescue. We're gonna color a little bit at an angle. Yeah, Melissa, I've been thinking about the Tim Holtz ones too. I don't know if you can get those in any stores or if I have to order them, but I might do Dawn's suggestion and reach out to them first and see what they say. Let's start with the crackers. We'll do the crackers and the spoon first because I'm least excited to color those. So we'll get them in a nice way, kind of out of the way. You know what? I think 30s are going to be too warm. Let's go 40s. We'll go for 42. I'm just trying to make these look kind of like little saltines. And there's these artist drawn lines already for us on these edges that kind of show that little bit of dimension. We can also add a little shading around these dots, little fork marks in the crackers. Man, that looks that's a little better, huh? It would also help if my screen brightness was turned up so I could see what you guys see. All right, we're gonna go 42. I still think that looks better. And then our last color is gonna be the 41. Let's see. Barbara said, take a piece of aluminum foil and cut a few times. It may fix it. Barbara, I had heard that for like a Cricut blade. So it makes sense, but it never occurred to me to try it with a trimmer. But yeah, literally at this point, it can't hurt. It's already cutting everything all wonky. All right, so there are our little saltines. Very simple. This is actually a little too bright. Melissa just ordered her first Copic refills and added some of the earth tones. It's perfect. I'm so excited for you. I just ordered a bunch of replacement markers for some of mine that had dried out because of crappy caps. I really hope they fix that problem soon. Oh, Carmen, thanks for checking in though. I'm so glad you could at least pop in for a second. I miss you too. this time of year, I feel like even from like November until like mid-February just feels like such a busy time for everybody between work parties and holiday events and then like Valentine's Day date nights and so many people made resolutions in January. I feel like everybody's like taking classes or doing extra work or side hustle work. It's crazy. So anybody who can make it or anybody who watches this live after the fact, just know we appreciate you. I know it's not easy to juggle everything and still be able to pop in or watch after. All right, I went in with some cool gray markers for my spoon. Kept that pretty simple. You know, it's raining hard when I can hear it through my headphones. All right, so these are the colors we're working with. And I want my bowl to be pretty colorful. I think I'm going to do just like a white, off-white chicken. So, oh, thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that. I very much enjoy coloring. It makes me very happy. It is usually my kind of stress coping mechanism. So I love that you also enjoy it. See, I was thinking this was very teal, but held up to some of these other markers, it's definitely a little more on the green side. Or we could go with the blue. That could be pretty. Let's do the blue. We'll go B39. This is pretty powdery. I was going to say, I don't want it to go super like dusty blue, but this is definitely, maybe we'll do that little trio. We'll do 39, 37, and 45. Sorry, let's try that. Because I think 37 to B23 is going to be too big of a jump. That was Sandy Onyx hex chart. If you guys haven't seen me use that before, it's my favorite way to color match. So we're going to start with the B39. And because this is, in theory, like a real bowl, you know what I mean? Not China, but like a heavy duty bowl, I am going to leave a little highlight on the edge. That's going to give that shiny effect. I don't like to do it all the way down on something like a bowl because there wouldn't be reflective highlight at the bottom. And I'm just doing little swipes with the marker to start pulling that color out. And because this is a smooth, super smooth surface, I want that highlight line to be as smooth and straight as possible while I'm coloring. Oh yeah, Melissa, I don't think I could function without my hex chart. I use it almost every day. So that was the B39. This is 37. And we're going to pull that color further into the center. Careful around that little heart. Definitely want to make sure we're overlapping. These two colors blend pretty well, but they still need a little love, a little work. We'll go up to this little noodle. Like that. And then we're going to go in with our 45. We're going to try. We might have to do a little tip to tip blending. bring in a little extra color here. We might be okay. The trick is really in that overlap. And the more you're using the side of your marker versus going straight on with the tip of your marker and letting it sit on that paper, it's depositing more ink into your paper fibers, which is what's going to give you that really nice smooth blend. That doesn't look very smooth at all, does it? It's a pretty big jump, I think. We'll go back in with that 37 and just kind of feather that color into that 45 while it's still super saturated. And then do one more light pass with that 45. Yeah, I like that better. We still have like a little bit down here, but we'll give that a second to dry because you can see my paper's getting pretty saturated. The back feels pretty cold. So that tells me that that alcohol is going all the way through and starting to evaporate. But I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to take that same 45, that lightest shade, and fill in that highlight edge. We don't want to leave it completely white. That would be way too shiny. And I'm going to take the medium shade, that 37, and just run that all the way across the back. Okay. We need some fun colors for the band and the heart. So I think we'll do like a limey green for the stripe. That looks very yellow green. So let's grab a 25 and a 21 maybe. We might have to bring in something a little darker, but let's check those first. Let's bring in one shade darker. That's way too dark. Too green. It's not darker, but it's less saturated. We'll go YG63, and I'm gonna create a little line on each side that kind of connects that highlight that we left, and just pull that in a little bit. You can go back with the 25 and blend it out. And you can see how that little bit of extra shading on the edges really makes it pop and look more 3D again. And then we'll do yellow for that heart, which is slightly risky because I did get some blue in the heart, but I think we'll be okay. I think we can make it work. All right, so we're going, this is a pretty goldeny yellow. So we'll go Y18. We'll just outline. And in these areas where the blue is, I'm just gonna put a little extra layer, and that should help kind of push out some of that color. And we'll go 13. You know what, I think that's good. We'll just do 18 and 13. Yeah, sometimes, Melissa, I end up using, I'd say most of the time I end up using 3, but it really depends. Like the bowl is supposed to be very dimensional, where the heart is just like printed on the bowl. So I don't feel weird about only using 2 shades for that. But now you can see how nicely that coordinates with our paper. And then for our noodles, those are going to be pretty soft. Maybe we'll just use some of those same 40s. We'll just go with the lighter 2 that we used on our crackers. So we'll just add some of that 42. And fill that in with 41. I do want kind of a pale yellow for my soup. So yellow. Maybe we'll try some 53 and 51. I want like a, a creamier kind of yellow. That looks too tan. We'll add in some Y00. I think that looks good. Can do one little more layer, one little layer more of the 53 kind of on those little ripples. And I really like that combination. There we go. And then we just have our little chicken. Obviously, she's going to have blush. Her little feet look like hands, but they're chicken feet, so they need to be like probably the same yellow, I'm thinking. Let's get that done while I'm remembering what yellows I used. So Y18, same thing. I got some blue in there. Kind of coloring the top part and then that little U. And then we'll just fill it in with the 13. Definitely don't look like chicken. I'm thinking cool grays to match our spoon, but very light because I still want her to look white. Yeah. So we're going to start with C2. And we'll do a whole outline, but then we'll go under her little zigzags. It gets her little ruff around her neck, and she's have a little shadow there where it's kind of puffed up. Is this top thing supposed to be red? I don't feel like it's supposed to be red. Maybe it's just white. I don't know. That feels like a lot of white. Whatever. She's got hand feet. It really doesn't matter. She's just cute. She doesn't have to be anatomically correct. I was going to go C0, but I'm just going to switch to colorless blender to knock out those edges. That feels like it doesn't have enough. So you can like barely see that. So we'll grab C3. and just add the littlest line. And that just gives her a little more dimension. I don't know. That top thing on her head feels like it's supposed to be a different color. So, yeah, I think definitely rosy cheeks. And I think we add some orange to her beak instead of all this yellow. I think that'll help. Maybe we'll add some of this to her feet. Yep, like that a lot more already. Lemon out just a touch. That 18. Rosy cheeks. We'll grab our R20. I like it. I think that's good. I do. I think the pink and a little more orange on her feet and her beak kind of wake her up enough. And in person, her little gray shading stands out just a little more without like the lights. So I think we're good. So let's get those little images all trimmed out. See if I can get my camera to not fall down. I haven't put my stamp set away yet because I know we're going to need it for our sentiment. Stickers. All my little bits of tape over here. I love that this cuts between those steam lines. I think that's super fun. Looks like a pretty healthy border around these ones, though. It's different. Sometimes it really, I think it all depends on the illustrator. Sometimes the cut lines are super tight, and sometimes there is a little bit more kind of leeway. I'm good either way. Our cutting machine. Dry cutting is my main workout plan for 2024. I'm sure no one's surprised. I do think these could benefit from some white gel pen. So let's get all our dies back on our paper. You will gel pen these up a little bit. Thinking 8 should be good. I was thinking 10, but that might be a little bold. So the trick when I'm doing something like a bowl with a print is I want to bring my highlight over that print so it's clear that it's all one piece. So I'm going to add a little highlight up here and then bring this down over like that. And they don't have to be even. I think that is so cute. And then we'll add a little highlight to this spoon just to break up some of that black, but that's not the star of the show. So she doesn't need to be perfect. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking spoon, bowl, crackers, like that. And sentiment. And I was leaning Hugs, kisses, and get well wishes. Because the soup one is fun. It's the hope you heal super fast. But to me, healing is like an injury. And this is very much more like a you're sick card in my brain. So we're going to go with that guy, and that will fit right there. So let me grab my Misty. You know what else? There's some blue in that noodle still. We'll add a little highlight to that noodle in a second. I'm going to do my best to line this up against the edge. There we go. With this point kind of tucked, and then we will with it at this angle, it's not the easiest to tell if it's straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm looking at the stitches because if it's 6 and 6 and they're pretty much lined up, I can use that as if there's an imaginary little line connecting those stitches. And that'll help me make sure that they're both about the same distance from those stitches and that they're kind of making that nice triangle. Sorry, counting up 6, 6. And if you think I'm crazy, I agree with you. Don 1, 2, kick that blue. A chunk of cheddar cheese, some cheese and crackers. I forgot to put this on the supplies list, but I did know that I wanted to go in with the Barbershop ink, this beautiful navy blue ink to tie in with everything else. Sorry, that was under the, I think anyway, it's under the little box of my face. So we get that back on there. This can get put away. We are in the home stretch. That was the problem. I didn't zoom back out after we added in that. I'm gonna go in and clean up one little blue spot and that new. Okay, I'm going to add some liquid glue to my soup, but I'm gonna focus it more on the center so that I know I can tuck the crackers underneath. But this is the part I'm most concerned about getting lined up. So I'm gonna take this one. I can just kind of tuck those right behind, and I want them a little higher so they look like they're behind. If it was at the bottom, it wouldn't make sense. It would look like the bowl was sitting on top of them. And then our little spoon. And I want the spoon at a little bit of an angle because again, if it was up like that, it would be weird. Why is the handle kind of floating? I want it to kind of look like it's been put down flat on the table. Just like that. Sending kisses and get well wishes. You know what? I said we were going to foam it. We can still foam and glue. It's just my natural instinct to preserve my foam. I made myself forget. With that backing paper. Make sure it opens the right way. Get that lined up. Yep, good enough for me. I did say we were going to stamp the inside, but you know what? We're at 46 minutes and I feel fine about it. So we'll just leave it there. So that is our little chicken soup card. Got a little pop up there. Our little color coordinated chicken soup bowl. I really like it. He's so sweet. Yeah, and it's super neutral and that it could be for anyone. So I love having some gender neutral cards. I do understand that you can send any card to anybody, but it is nicer to have, I think, some with a more neutral palette. This could be for any age. Anyone would be excited to get this card, I think. So definitely a good choice for stamp of the month. And if you aren't subscribed, you can definitely still get it when the new release comes out 2 Fridays from now. So on the 19th is release week. And it's going to be a good one. So yeah. Okay. So that being said, next week starts release week. So we'll go through all of our new releases on Tuesday and Thursday of next week, but I'm still plotting what we're going to do on Thursday of this week. So if you have any requests for products you want to see used or techniques you want me to try, any ideas for like swatching or testing or anything like that, you can always let me know. I want to make what you guys want to see, and I have a lot of stuff to play with. So definitely leave me a comment. I'll be back to check. And yeah, otherwise, I'm so excited to be back here with you guys on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you can, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Every time we get more thumbs up, it increases the chances of the algorithm sending our lives out to other crafty people so our little community can grow. Thank you guys all so much for the kind words. I hope you have a great night. I hope everyone stays nice and safe, and I will see you back here on Thursday. Until then, guys, happy crafting. Have a good night.